So today I wanted to talk about motherboards and really kind of how to pick a motherboard and really just how to research which one is going to fit your needs the best. Now keep in mind, I don't pretend to know everything. I don't really know all the different chipsets and which one's better than the other. The only two that I'm actually really familiar with are the B650 and the X870, which are both AMD chipsets. But regardless of whether you're buying a AMD board or an Intel board, it's really important to research that motherboard and figure out and make sure that it has all the features that you want, especially since motherboards are really expensive these days. The motherboard that I have is the MSI X870 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi board. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that not every motherboard has Wi-Fi built in. If your motherboard doesn't have Wi-Fi built in, you'll either have to buy a Wi-Fi dongle or install a Wi-Fi PCIe card, or use wired internet. The reason I picked the X870 over the B650 though is because one, the X870 has Gen 5 PCIe instead of Gen 4. Two, this particular motherboard has 5 gigabit Ethernet on it. And considering that I have 2 gigabit Ethernet for my home internet, I wanted to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room to upgrade in the future. Although the B650 board that I was looking at before did have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. And three, which is another really big feature that I think people kind of overlook in motherboards, is this has both a CMOS reset and a M-Flash button. Now, M-Flash is just the brand that MSI uses, but having a motherboard with a flash button on it is a very useful feature. This is a really useful feature to have because if you ever have to flash your motherboard but the computer won't post, you have an easy way to do it. Whereas if you buy a motherboard without a flash button, it's possible that you might have to send it back to the manufacturer in order to get it reflashed. Personally, I think that it should be a standard feature on every motherboard. It was on the B650 board that I was going to buy, but the B650 board didn't have a CMOS reset button. It's not 100% necessary because you can always just remove the CMOS battery, but it is much more convenient. Because for this motherboard, I would have to remove those bottom fans to get to the CMOS battery. So it's a lot easier to just turn the power supply off, hold down the CMOS button for 15 seconds, and then turn the power supply back on to reset the CMOS. So those are all some very important things to consider when buying a motherboard. You just got to make sure that you look at all the features. I would recommend something that at least has diagnostic lights or a 7-segment display, but motherboards with 7-segment displays are stupid expensive. And that also has a flash button on it.